If you're tired of losing money day trading and want a system that actually works, this video is for you, because I'm about to give you access to something most traders never get to see. A complete course on the numerology method that help traders go from unprofitable to consistently passing prop firm challenges and making real money. The exact system that helped Brandon to get over 100K in payouts and help a fund manager trade $17 million, and the same system that created multi-millionaire day trading students. I created this course specifically for day traders who are done with the system hopping, over trading, and the emotional roller coaster that comes with traditional technical analysis. Let's get right into it. So guys, let's talk about exactly why standard indicators fell, okay? Because indicators are basically driving in the rear view mirror. Most traders think that indicators are a crystal ball, but they're actually a history book. Here's a breakdown of why these indicators are actually going to lag. So the first one I want to talk to you guys about is moving averages, right? These are literally just the average of past prices. They don't turn until the trend has actually changed. Then you have stuff like the relative strength index. So this measures the speed of past price movement. Oversold does not mean buy. It just means that price dropped fast recently. It can say oversold while price continues to crash. I mean, how many times have you saw that, hey, this looked like a perfect signal. You go ahead and take the trade and it just keeps dropping, right? And then also the MACD indicator, this is the difference between two moving averages. By the time the MACD crosses, the smart money has already entered and is looking to sell to someone. I mean, at that point, they're just looking for food, right? They're just looking for an easy, quick buck they can make. And that's what that indicator provides them. A lot of times, if you guys wanted to, you probably get better results if you traded against all these indicators. Okay, so let's talk about the crowded room and liquidity traps, because these indicators that I just mentioned, they're basically in every trading 101 book. Millions of people see the exact same signal at the same time. So what that creates is the herd mentality, where everyone sees the RSI divergence. So they all play stops in the same spot. And the trap is that the institutions, the big banks, see this as cluster of stop losses. So they intentionally drive prices into those stops to create liquidity, buying force sells at discounts before the real move happens. So it's just basically food, guys. I mean, let's keep it a buck, guys. Let's keep it all the way tall here. When it comes down to it, the bottom line is these indicators tell you where the market was, not where it's going. And to win, you actually have to look where the crowd is wrong, not where they're right. That's the secret there. So let's actually talk about how I apply a different method to the markets to be able to get an edge. Okay, guys, before we get into all the nitty gritty, I think it's very important to establish a foundation first of what exactly is numerology. So numerology is the study of numbers and what they reveal about people, timing, and life patterns. It's a simple tool for self-awareness and clarity, helping you understand your strengths, your challenges, when to act, and when to fall back. It's about using numbers as guidance to make better, more aligned decisions. Pretty simple stuff. Now, what I'm going to do now is go give you guys a basic breakdown of the numbers here. Now, what I'm not going to do is go into any advanced NDA stuff, of course, but these basics here will be good enough to get you started. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the number one. So the number one is a born leader. It's very male dominated energy. Even the women who are born on the 1st, 19th, 28th, or the 10th can actually think like men. This number is very aggressive. It's alpha. It's a fighter. A lot of people who have one energy actually stay fit when they are old. Now, typically women who have this one energy, they grow up as tomboys. And later in life, they start learning how to use their sexual appeal as a weapon. Some of the best female hustlers are women with strong one energy. Now, on one days, expect people to be argumentative. One is about leadership. One is about authority. One is one of the numbers that is least likely to be fat or overweight. People get heated under one energy. Ones are considered the assholes. Okay, the number two. Two is straight up female energy. Two is the number of peace. Two is the diplomat. Two is the opposite side. Two represents balance. The number two is extremely sensitive. The number 2 has a open and a receptive nature. And the reason why is the number 2 bends and curves. So it's going to be a little bit more open to being receptive to things that you're saying. The number 2 symbolizes cooperation, compromise, and diplomacy. These are some traits that are associated with the feminine energy. 2s make very good deal makers, and 2s play both sides to benefit everybody very well. 3 is childlike energy. 3 is the number of communication, the social butterfly, the comedian, the kindergarten teacher. Very creative. Problem with 3s is they could overindulge, and they are very likely to be fat or overweight. People with 3 energy, they actually age quicker in a 9-to-5 office because sometimes that setting is just too much for them. 3s always talk shit. They love the spotlight. They're extremely eccentric. They always need some stuff to argue and talk about. They care a lot about their self-image. A lot of 3s are very fond and protective of animals. Now, 3s are communicators, but one of their biggest traits is being able to create out of nothing. Endless creativity. Therefore, they definitely are the artist type. The number 4 represents law and order. Police, hard work, the worker. On 4 days, you could expect to see a lot of people getting pulled over. That's one of the main reasons why I saw numerology is real, because my teacher said on 4 days, you're gonna see a lot of cops. And that's exactly what I saw. 4s are extremely boring people. 4s like routine. 4s are the cops, the detectives. It's hard to lie to a 4 because they are always seeking the truth. 4s are also very alpha people, very direct, very blunt, don't really care how you feel about it. What makes a 4 extremely happy is their work. One thing, if you want to piss a 4 off, is get in the way of their job. That will piss them off. The thing about a 4 is sometimes it needs to relax a little bit. What I tell people all the time that are 4s is you're a 4, so you're going to work hard anyway. So don't waste your time working at McDonald's or a low-paying job. If you're a 4, take that big high-risk job that can actually get you a big payoff because you're going to work hard anyway. 4s are extremely materialistic. 4s like stability. 4s have to see things as tangible. And you always have to speak the truth to a 4 because a 4 will be able to see through your bullshit. Okay, guys, just remember these are quick breakdowns. This is not any advanced info here, okay? So the number 5, whoa, would you look at that hottie?
She's a hottie.
5 is the number of the supermodel. It's the number of great looks. 5s love to change their mind. They can't stick to one thing for too long because they always change. 5 is also the number of travel. 5 is the health teacher. 5 is the number of freedom. 5 is the entertainer. It's very easy to get pregnant on 5 days. If you're having trouble getting pregnant, have sex on a 5-day and you'll probably get more luckier. Advice for 5 days like the 5th, the 14th, the 23rd, don't stay home on those days. Those are the best days to get out and travel. Have some fun. People who have a lot of 5 energy often get depressed if they stay at home too long. They have to be out and about in the real world, making moves, shaking hands, out networking, or just doing something. They hate being indoors. 5s are extremely flaky people. 5 will make a plan with you at the last second will change their mind because 5 is the number of change. So at the drop of a dime, something can happen and all your entire plans just change. No matter what, without a good sex life, the 5 will never be happy. They'll literally drive themselves crazy because 5 is the number of sex. Now, on the flip side of all that fun, 5 is highly associated with war. A lot of wars and a lot of fighting activities do happen around the number 5. So just be careful with that. The thing about wars that start under 5, they start under 5, but they never end under 5. Okay, so number 6. The number 6 is home and family. A lot of government officials have 6 energy. 6 is the doctor, the construction teacher, the nurturer, but they are likely to be overweight. They're known as the dorks, the organizers, very obedient people. But the number 6 is extremely good in personal relationships. 6s are generally just nice, friendly people. The number 6 is one of those numbers where if their home life is a mess, their entire world is over because all a 6 really cares about is home and family and helping others. So a lot of people got the 6 and the 9 confused, and we'll talk about the 9 later, but essentially everyone calls the 9 the humanitarian. Now, are there some humanitarians that have 9 energy? Yes, but the real nurturer, the real humanitarian is actually the 6 because they care about their communities. They want to give back to everybody around them. They want to service everybody around them. They want to make sure that everybody's taken care of before they're even thought of themselves. They put everybody else before they put themselves. So in turn, sometimes they can actually turn into doormats and have people just run over them. So if you're a 6, be careful that you don't let people just run over you and take advantage of you all the time. Be friendly, you service the people who need it, and do it with a smile on your face, but at the same time, don't be a doormat for anybody. So the number 7, a lot of people got the 7 messed up, okay? So a lot of people think that the 7 is extremely lucky.
Lucky.
You walk into a casino, you see all these 7s. I don't know why, but the elites did a great job of brainwashing people to believe that the number 7 is lucky. The number 7 is the opposite of lucky. The number 7 has so many demon qualities, but one of them is not luck. The number 7 is the genius. The number 7 is the teacher. The 7 has to be alone. It's loner energy. There was somebody that I used to work with, and her husband was a 7. And she literally told me that when they go to the movies, he buys out the entire section so nobody can sit next to them because he doesn't like being around people. That's what the 7 is. And on 7 days, you're more likely to get injured. So if you look up famous athletes, if you notice they're born on the 7th, the 16th, or the 25th, those are the guys in all sports history who are always injured all the time. 7 days are great for problem solving. 7 days are great for gaining knowledge. On 7 days, you should never exercise. On 7 days, you should never start a relationship. And make sure you never, ever get married on a 7 day. That is the number that will get you divorced at a high rate. Probably why a lot of people get divorced because everyone thinks 7 is lucky. It's like, yeah, let's get married on the 7th. That's my lucky number. Now, the number 7 is great for exercising your mind. The number 7 is great for gaining as much knowledge as humanly possible. The number 7 is closely associated with spirituality. But people with 7 energy will age much quicker if they're around too many people or living in the spotlight too much. People with 7 energy, at times they can be heartless because they don't really care about anybody but themselves. It's a very, very, very selfish number. So if you want to piss off a 7, ask questions that are repetitive and stupid. Okay, the number 8. So the number 8 is the number of money, power, karma. It's the banker. They're very karmic people. So if you have a lot of 8 energy and you're out there doing dirt and doing bad, then you're going to get hit with karma very quick. 8 is also a very judgmental number. The 8s are the financial teachers. They're very ambitious people, but they can be very greedy. People with a lot of 8s in their birthday they can actually suffer from weak eyes and actually have to rely on glasses to see, right? If you look at the shape of the 8, you see it's the top half, it's the middle, and then it's the bottom. So basically what that says is either you have it or you don't. Pretty simple. 8 is one of the best numbers for making money with. But with that 8 energy comes a lot of downside, and that is very karmic. You can actually make a lot of money, but you can also lose a lot of money as well, right? Just because it's the number of money doesn't always mean it's a positive. Every number is going to have its positive and its negative. So the 8's negative is it can lose a lot of money at times because you either have it or you don't. Nothing in the middle. Okay, so the number 9. So while I can't go into the advanced information about the number 9, I could just give you some very simple basics, okay? The number 9 is the number of completion. The number 9 is very adaptive. The number 9 is associated with endings and letting go. The number 9 is a follower. It's not a leader. Now that's not a negative like some people would make it. There's some people who actually are better at following orders than leading people to the promised land. So you have to have that yin and yang where everybody can't be a leader. You do need followers at some point, right? But on the downside of the number 9 is it's probably the most likely to be involved in drugs. And it's also extremely narcissistic when it comes to the looks department. That's one of the main things that a 9 cares about is looks. And occasionally 9s can be very superficial in that department. But 9s are very, very quick learners. They're very smart people. Once they put their mind to something and they say, hey, this is it, they're very good at bringing things to completion. Okay, so let's get into the master numbers. 11, 22, and 33. Okay, so what are the master numbers? So the master numbers are 11, 22, and 33. What a master number basically means in numerology, it's a powerful double-digit number that carries stronger energy and bigger potential than the single digits. These numbers are linked to heightened intuition, leadership, creativity, and responsibility. They often indicate big potential, but also the potential for bigger crashes and bigger losses, requiring awareness and maturity ability to use the numbers positively. So let's talk about the first master number, 11. The number 11 is associated with emotional energy. These are the athletes. If you look at a lot of successful athletes, they have a lot of 11 energy in their birthday. The number 11 definitely tends to have very athletic bodies. The 11 is the visionary. 11 means control your emotions. Here's a tip, guys. Never fly on 11 days. Those are the days when planes are most likely to crash. The 11s are the guides. They're the spiritual teachers. They're one of the numbers that are one of the most least likely to be overweight, right? So emotions and karma go hand in hand. These guys are the old souls. Now, the number 11 has extreme charisma. If you look at a lot of former presidents and current presidents from all around the world, all around the globe, prime ministers that have 11 energy, they have the ability to captivate a room. As soon as they walk into a room, the temperature of the room changes because they have so much charisma. They just have that swag. It's just natural to them. And that's exactly how they get down. The number 22, let's talk about it. The number 22 is by far the most materialistic master number. Now, all the other master numbers are more so concerned with people and self. The 22 is more concerned with wealth and getting money. Now, the 22 is a master builder and a master destroyer. They are excellent bodybuilders. They teach people how to bodybuild. They teach people how to build things. They operate at a very high level and they are extremely hard workers where they don't stop working. Even if it takes years, even if it takes decades, they will stay on one thing till they build it. They are very muscular. These are the people who have cult-like followings. People will follow them until the end of the earth. But on the flip side of that, they can be extremely ruthless, because on the flip side of a builder is a destroyer, and they can destroy things from the very top to the very bottom nonstop. You do not want to piss off a 22. They will come for your whole family, metaphorically speaking, of course, right? We want to promote peace here. I'm just telling you how it is. Now, on the 22nd, that's when the matrix will test you through your dreams. So think back to the last 22nd of the month. You probably had a weird dream that day. Not only do they build things, they build against things, okay? There's a lot of other things I can say about the 22 that I can't say, but 22 is definitely one of my favorite numbers of all time, by far. Now, the number 33. The number 33 is the trailblazer. It's the one number that is responsible for saving the world, for saving humanity, and pushing it forward. Now, the number 33 is the master teacher. It's the pursuit of knowledge. The downside of the 33 is it knows it's the shit, and its nose has got the most swag, that it does have a huge, massive ego. I repeat, never met a 33 who didn't have a big ego. It is what it is. This is the last incarnation on Earth, so karma can't really follow them into the next realm, right? The 33s are the Energizer bunnies of numerology. They never stop going. It's just like, geez, can you sit down and take a break? No. They just keep going. They just keep going, and on and on. The number 33 is associated with diamonds, right? Because the way you get diamonds is through pressure. So the number 33 is probably the best at handling pressure. The 33 is probably the hardest number to impress, because there are 33, they're technically the oldest soul. They've been through all the carnations, so it's really hard to impress them because they've been there, they've done it and seen it all. So if you can impress the 33, that probably means you're the shit. 33 has a hidden fuel within. The 33 is all about wisdom, and they quickly and they influence things and they shake them up on a large scale. Now, a 33's presence is felt for generations. That's exactly one of the reasons why they attach Jesus with the number 33. Look at his impact. It's been felt for generations. And guys, I'll be generous here. Let's throw in some bonuses just to kind of get you guys some goodies here. Let's talk about submaster numbers. So the number 13 and the number 28 are both submaster numbers. While I'm not going to go into specifically why, the 13 represents the matrix. The number 28 represents wealth. People who are born on the 28th have the ability to get extremely wealthy. If there was one number out of all that people want to be associated with, it's usually the number 28 because of how much wealth it actually generates. Now, the number 13 is definitely associated with finances and financial transactions, and the number 13 is all about monetary control. The Federal Reserve uses the number 13 and they have it in their birthday as well. Let's talk about the number 20. The number 20 is actually a hidden 11. What a lot of numerologists get wrong is they think that the number 20 is just a 2. That's completely wrong. A lot of the years that end in 20 usually cause global pandemics. So for example, 2020, that was COVID. You had 1920, you had 1820, 1720. So what the matrix does is it uses those years to reset things, especially when they happen in rat years. You definitely, on the 20th, you definitely want to avoid fights. The 20 is a hidden 11. Okay, and finally, let's end with this 9 on the back. So the number 19 is definitely linked to karma. A lot of people who are born on the 19th will actually have some type of health problems, especially in their younger age. Hopefully not, but a lot of cases of people with the number 19, they do have a little bit of health issues there. But in turn, the number 19 can actually be a very adaptive leader because you have the 1 for leadership and you have the 9 on the back. So you're able to follow a little bit and you're also able to lead, which is going to kind of balance that out with your leadership style only.
By the way, if you're already thinking this is exactly what I need and you want to skip ahead to work with me directly on implementing the numerology system with my coaching and my support, check the first link in the description to learn more about it. But for now, let's keep going through exactly what you guys need to know to make this system work.
All right, so let's talk about a couple key things in a numerology that you kind of just need to know the basics of. You need to know your life path, okay? So your life path is basically your core number in numerology. It's calculated from your full birthday. It represents pretty much who you are as a person. It's your overall direction of your life. Think about this as like your default like operating system. You know, this is kind of how you move through the world, make decisions, and express yourself through these numbers. So how do you calculate your life path? Okay, so let's say you are born January 22nd, 2026. So let's actually calculate this. Let's do it together. So you have the 1, you have the 22. You never break down the 22, the 11, or the 33. Those numbers always stay the same when you're calculating. Everything else, you just add up. Plus 2, plus 2, plus 6. So this person would be a 33 life path. Now, you don't break this down to 3 plus 3 equals 6 because it's a 33 master number. So that is exactly how you calculate your life path. Secondly, every year that your birthday hits, that you're alive, you're going to go into a personal life cycle. Also, another important piece to the puzzle is your personal year cycle. So your personal year is basically going to show you the main theme that you're working with for the full year. It's about timing, you know, when to start, when to build, reflect, or reset. You know, an important detail about your personal year is that it starts on your birthday, not January 1st. So each year is going to bring you a different energy, what you need to focus on. So let's keep this same example here. If you are born on this day, 2027, from your birthday, you're going to be in a 7 cycle because this equals 34 and 3 and 4 equals 7. So that means everything regarding the 7 is going to be your personal year cycle. You're going to see things that have to deal with the 7. You're going to deal with 7 issues, and the ups and downs of a 7 will be the main focus of that year for you. And then another important factor that you want to look at when you're looking at this, and we'll talk about how to apply it to everything we're talking about here in a minute, is your personal month, right? So your personal month is a smaller layer of timing inside your personal year. So think about it as a cycle within a cycle. So this shows you the specific focus for each month. So basically your year cycle tells you what you need to do for the year. The personal month is how you break it down into bits and pieces. Okay, all right, this month I'm under this energy, so I'm gonna do this so I can ultimately hit this main goal of whatever that yearly cycle is, right? And how does that feed into your life path, right? So, you know, the personal months flow in a sequence, and they're definitely influenced by your personal year, you know, giving you more precise insight into what to push forward to and when to slow down on.
We're about halfway through the training, and I've already shown you more than most trading courses that charge thousands of dollars for. But here's the thing, knowing information and actually implementing correctly are two different things. So if you want my direct coaching, the complete numerology framework with all the advanced techniques and market codes, and the accountability to ensure you actually follow through, check the first link in the description to learn more.
So the next part of the system I want to tell you guys about is Chinese astrology. So what exactly is Chinese astrology? Chinese astrology is a traditional system that uses your birth year and the Chinese Zodiac to understand your personality traits, strengths, challenges, and life timing. It's based on natural cycles and animal symbols, basically helping people gain insight into behavior, relationship, favorable periods for growth and decision making. So while I'm not going to give out any crazy NDA info on Chinese astrology, let's go ahead and talk about the signs. So the first sign in all of Chinese astrology is the rat. So the rat is the first sign, making it the most powerful sign in this entire matrix we live in. During rat years, pandemics tend to happen. Rat people are known as penny pitchers, but when it comes to friends and family, their wallet is wide open. They're very unlikely to be fat or overweight. Rats are the biggest half-truth tellers, not liars. You could tell a rat from their cheekbones. They are the best writers. The bad part about a rat is sometimes it cannot keep a secret, but they are one of the most intelligent signs. They get along best with oxes, dragons, and monkeys. One of their greatest gifts is they can sense danger in their gut. They do have a flight or fight response. They usually try to outsmart their opponents with manipulation. They're great salespeople, great at manipulating. They know what to say and how to say it. The best part about a rat is they will die for their kids. They definitely have a pack of friends and then they move on. They never really stay in one place for too long. They love to work behind the scenes. Now, the rat is the only sign that does have a soulmate, and that is the ox. The rat plants seeds of wealth for the ox. In exchange, the ox does the rat's dirty work. Okay, the second sign in Chinese astrology is the ox. Very stocky people. You could tell a ox by their shape of their eyes. Phenomenal swimmers. The bad part about the ox is they can power trip. The ox is very slow, very steady, but it's one of the most trustworthy signs. Very dependable, and the ox throws hella temper problems. And the ox throws hella temper tantrums. Leave them alone to cool off and they'll be all right. The ox gets along best with roosters and snakes, and they love to strong arm people, and they're very big dictators. But on the flip side, the ox has the ability to be the marketplace and be able to generate wealth at a high clip. Coming in at number 3 is the tiger. Okay, the thing about tigers is they make terrible teachers. They're very impulsive. They do like to have fun. They do have that childlike energy because they are the third sign, but they do stay in great shape, especially the women. Tiger women have a habit of marrying rich men, and they love their fitness. And the reason why is because men love those fitness models. The tiger women are very good at seducing rich men. It is what it is. Tigers get along best with dogs and horses. They look good at old age, and they age like fine wine. Tiger women are probably the hardest to tame because they enjoy the hunt above everything else. Coming in fourth is the cat. Okay, so the cat is a psychologist. You know, they make great salespeople, saleswomen. The bad part about the cat is they can be extremely annoying, and they love to play mind games. They're great psychologists, and they get along with pigs and goats, and they're the shit talkers. They like to start a problem. They're basically the people who throw a rock and hide their hand. They start a problem, and then they love to see everybody else panic and try to figure out what the heck's going on, while the cat is just in the background laughing at everybody. So it is what it is. All right, so the fifth sign is the dragon. So the bad part about the dragon is they're extremely bossy people, but they are one of the most powerful signs. They definitely demand respect. They do things by force. They're not diplomats. They get along great with monkeys and rats. They have quick tempers, but they don't really stay mad. They don't hold grudges. They're very into leadership. They push you. You know, they're very muscular build. They have heart. Now, the best way to deal with a dragon is just be extremely honorable. They respect honor. The snake is the sixth sign. All right, the sixth sign is the snake. The snake, they never forgive or they never forget. They have an extremely good memory. They're 70 years old. They remember something that happened to the third grade and someone who pissed them off, right? The only thing better than sex to them is revenge. Now, once a person gets to the power in a snake year, they usually tend to die in office because they don't ever give up power. You know, they're very wise, they're very cunning, and they're a very unforgiving enemy. Be aware or beware. You know, they wait years and years for their prey. They're the type that will just sit back and just wait for you to make a mistake, then they pounce on you. Now, you could tell a snake by the color of their eyes and the size of their pupils. They are the best at numerology, astrology. The bad parts about a snake is they're extremely petty. They do things just to, out of spite, just to make pettiness for pettiness reason. They are literally the fortune tellers. They are undisputedly the most wisest sign. They go best with roosters and oxes. They love to have fun in the bedroom. Sometimes they can't be faithful, and they are extremely hard to control. So there's that. The seventh sign is the horse. Now, the horse is a rebel. You could tell a horse by its mouth. The horse is definitely a vehicle for karma. Now, the horse has a very strong relationship with the dog. It's one of the best matches out there. They also get along with tigers. The biggest thing about a horse is they are stubborn as hell. Very athletic people, very smart at science and engineering and stuff like the technical type of technology type of wisdom, right? These guys are probably both the least materialistic sign. Of course, you'll have these guys who want to do well in life, but generally speaking, they don't really care too much about materialism and all that stuff. The eighth sign is the goats. You can tell a goat by their mouth and then their cheeks. The bad part about goats is their babies, right? They get along best with pigs and cats. They're very soft, very eccentric. They care more about their looks, right? They need to be pampered. They're not the fighters. They're kind of the pretty boys and the pretty girls. But the good thing about goats is they know how to cheer people up. So that's one of their gifts, is they can, cheer people up and make them feel good. Okay, so the monkey. So you could tell a monkey by their forehead. The bad part about a monkey is that they're lazy. They are tricksters. They're pranksters. They get along with rats and dragons. They are by far the smartest sign when it comes to pure wittiness. There is not another sign that's smarter than the monkey. The rat is up there as well, but the wisest sign is the snake, but the smartest sign is the monkey. So they can take anything apart and understand it. They're fast learners and they figure out things the quickest. The bad part about a monkey is, of course, sometimes they can be bullies. Okay, so the 10th sign is the rooster. The bad part about a rooster is they're extremely cocky, right? They're the fighters. They get along with snakes and ox. They're warriors. They're tough. They make great soldiers. They're extremely loyal and they're extremely beautiful. Rooster women have some of the best looking women in the entire game. All right. The bad part about a rooster is they have no diplomacy. They'll just punch you in your face without thinking about it. They'll just argue and they just fight and bicker. That's what they do. They love to peck at you. Okay, so the 11th sign is the dog. Okay, so dogs make the best singers by far. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, yada yada, the list goes on. They make the best singers by far. Now, they do have short and stubby upturned noses. A lot of the women sometimes can actually have the pug noses. They are great storytellers and also great liars. The bad part about a dog is they exaggerate, they lie, oh my gosh, poor me. They are exaggeration queens. They get along great with horses and tigers. They're very loyal, but they don't really trust anyone that they don't know. It's hard to get their trust, but once you get their trust, you're in. They can see things and remember things in great detail. I'll just tell you that. They do have a great sense of smell, and they also make very great detectives. So they're always investigating something. They're always looking into something and some issues. The thing about dogs is they are the 11th sign, so sometimes they can be emotional. Sometimes they can be depressed during life. And finally, the last sign is the pig. The pig is probably one of the most likely to be overweight, but they are the luckiest sign in life. They are by far the luckiest sign. The bad part about a pig is they have bad manners. They're extremely flaky. They do like to have fun. And, sometimes they can be the good guys in life where they get along with a lot of people. They're kind of like the life of the party, social butterflies and things of the nature, right? They get along great with goats and cats. They're very lucky in life. Okay, so now you have a general understanding of the signs and what they need. But let's talk about specifically the opposites and the enemy energy that is hidden within astrology. So every sign is going to have a sign that they don't get along with. So during those years, during those months, those are the signs that are actually going to get hit or things are not going to go in his favor. So to find your enemy, you actually just have to go 6 spots away. So the enemy of the rat is the horse. The enemy of the ox is the goat. The enemy of the tiger is the monkey. The enemy of the cat is the rooster. The enemy of the dragon is the dog. The enemy of the snake is the pig. So these are the signs that you want to avoid and have nothing to do with because they could cause severe damage to your life. We'll go through examples in just a moment, but now you have the general understanding of Chinese astrology and numerology basics. Okay, so now we kind of have the pieces together. Let's kind of put all this stuff together in the puzzle and make sense on how we make money with this stuff. It's cool to know this stuff, which is great, but how do you actually make money with this? So there's going to be a couple things that you actually need to know to be able to find this information. So you're going to need to know a stock or asset's IPO date, the company founded date or the asset's founded date, and the CEO's birthday or their energy. So if you can get these dates, you're going to have a lot of information to go off of. Then you'll be able to apply the personal year cycles, the life path, as well as the personal months, as well as the Chinese astrology to be able to put this kind of puzzle together, guys. Now, while I'm not going to give you guys all my main codes and my secret codes. I'm just going to give you guys some very basic stuff that you guys can use in the stock market. I'll give you some clear examples of what to do and how to use it exactly. So there's going to be two numbers that you actually want to look out for when it comes to the stock market. There's going to be the number 7, the one that they tell you is lucky. So the number 7 is significant with financial loss, weakness, and low volatility. And the number 11. So the number 11 is extreme emotion, and it's a lot of panic, and a lot of stock market crashes happen at around 11 energy because it does have that emotional energy, and also it's bad for electronics, so things tend to crash on that day or around that energy specifically. These are the two numbers I'm going to highlight for you guys to watch and look out for while we go through this stuff. So what you want to look out for when it comes to Chinese astrology is the enemy energy, okay? The reason why you want to do that in this example is it's commonly known that value in companies and stocks actually drop faster than they rise. So you can use that information to be able to benefit off of the enemy energy that is associated with a company or a asset. Now, obviously you could use it the opposite way as well, but I'm not going to go into everything here on just this one video. You know, we would be here for 15 years. Now, let's go through some real life examples of how this actually works. So the first company we're actually going to be looking at is a company called Fiserv. They were founded on July the 31st, 1985. So back to what I mentioned earlier about personal year cycles. As of recording this video, we're in 2026. So they haven't hit their personal year cycle for 2026 yet because it's not July yet. So you would use January 31st plus 2 plus 0 plus 5. So 2025 is a 20, which is a hidden 11. So from their birthday, with that 11 energy, I would expect the market to actually crash for this one stock because the 11 is associated with market crashes. Let's look at the stock from their birthday and exactly count what it has done since there. So it has crashed 55% since its birthday. So if you would have known this information, this would be a prime shorting opportunity because it's in a 11 personal year. October 29th, 1929 was the biggest stock market crash. So it shows you that number 11 is associated with stock market crashes. All right, very basic stuff. So the next one, let's look at a company called Lululemon. So Lululemon, its CEO or its original founder, Chip Wilson, was born on April the 25th, 1955. So since his birthday hasn't hit yet, we'll still use 2025's number. So 4 plus 2, 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 5. That's another 20, which is 20 is a hidden 11. Or if you counted it this way, 5, 2, 5, that's a 38. 3 and 8 is 11. So either way you slice it, it's an 11 cycle. And let's check out Lululemon's stock from his birthday. Lemon. For April 25th, his birthday, if you would have taken a short there, went up against you for a little bit, but then ultimately it went down 40%. So that is a 40% drop on Lululemon under 11 energy for its CEO. So remember I said you have to look at things like the IPO date, company founded date, the CEO's birthday, their personal cycles, their life path, their personal months. All right, so now let's take a look at FDS. That is FactSet Research, which it had its original IPO June 28th, 1996, and that is for FDS. That is the stock name. From June the 28th, 6 plus 28 plus 2 plus 0 plus 5 equals 43. 4 and 3 equals 7. 7 is not the best with finances. I'll just say that. I can't get into the real reason why, but I'll just say that. So let's look at FDS's stock since their birthday. So June the 28th, right here, June the 28th. I think June the 28th was a weekend, so let's go from the next day, which is the 30th, all the way down to here. We have a 45% drop in the stock price. 45%. Look at that. So it IPO'd on the 28th of June, 1996, but it went to a 7 personal year, and then look at the stock. All right, 40% drop. Let me give you a Chinese astrology example. Okay, so the CEO of Constellation Brands took over as CEO in March 2019. So So in Chinese astrology, 2019 was actually the year of the pig. So what did I say? The enemy of the pig is what? Is who? Is the snake. So by knowing this information, you could probably predict that this company would have a tougher time throughout this year because it's going through its enemy cycle of when the CEO took over. So let's look at the price of the stock now. So the snake year didn't start until February. Let's just do March to be on the safe side. From March, right here, the price dropped 26%. Why? Because the CEO took over in the year of the pig. 2025 to 2026, where we're currently at now, before the horse year takes over, is still the year of the snake, okay? So you see how the enemy energy is playing a massive role in the actual price of the stock. So another great example of this is Bitcoin. Okay, so Bitcoin was founded January 3rd, 2009. So what a lot of people get wrong is that this is still the year of the rat. Chinese astrology, the year doesn't switch over on the New Year's, right? It actually takes some time to switch over. So this is technically still the year of the rat. So because of that, in 2014, you would see that it's under enemy energy because the rat and the horse are enemy signs. Because of that, you would be able to look for a easy opportunity to short Bitcoin. So let's see what happened after the Chinese astrology year kicked in for 2014. So from Bitcoin, we do have a massive drop. Let's actually bring out the weekly chart here. Okay, so look at Bitcoin on the weekly chart. So as soon as this enemy year kicked in, look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin had dropped 85%, 85 freaking percent in its enemy year. Okay, so it's one thing to actually talk about it, but let me actually just show you what my clients are doing. This is a 1099 NEC coming directly from Top Step. Top Step is one of the largest prop firms in the entire game, and my trader, verified on paper, has made over $117,000 just from one prop firm. Now this trader has multiple prop firms, and he's making a full-time living just with this knowledge. This is how you apply it. All right, so let's look at some more results here. So this is one of my traders trading with the numerology codes. Here is another trader who made over 21,000 in one day with the codes. Some more client results. Best day, $7,600 in one trading day. Here are some results from a prop firm. More results from the same trader from earlier. Over $15,000 in one day trading. Apex paid by trader $17,000, $3,900, $3,300 times 3, so over 9,000 in one day. $2,900 in one day. So 16K day right here. This is in one day. More trading results. 1,800 in one day. Thousands of dollars in one day. More payouts. Over $8,000 in payouts. More profits. $11,781 in one day. Look at this profitable month from one of our traders. Another profitable month. $1,243. Just killer results. I mean, I could just sit here and do this forever, guys. I could just literally sit here and just keep scrolling back forever. Like, it just doesn't stop. This is how you actually apply this stuff to the futures market, to crypto, to whatever asset you want to trade. This is how you do it.
Look, we're getting close to the end of this training, and by now you could just see this isn't some basic day trading course. This is the exact numerology system that helped traders pass prop firm challenges, manage millions of dollars, and achieve consistent profitability. The question is, do you want to spend the next 4 years trying to figure this out alone? Or do you want direct coaching to fast track your results? If you want the coaching, the accountability, and the done with you support, click the first link in the description to learn more.
Okay, guys, just to recap really carefully, you want to know your personal year cycles, the life path, the personal buff. This is numerology. You're going to find the IPO dates. You're going to find the company founder dates. You're going to find the CEO's birthday. You're going to find the Chinese astrology around those companies. And you are going to trade when the energy is absolutely in the favor. 2 numbers to look for, 7 and 11 when it comes to shorting or enemy energy. Now, I'm not going to talk about the other numbers and how they work for longs because that's not what this video is for. But I'm giving you guys plenty of examples of how to apply this to go out, make some money, and use this to get paid.
Everything I shared with you today comes down to one simple truth. Traders who have a simple, repeatable system and discipline to follow consistently make money. This numerology method is the exact system that got Brandon to over 100K in payouts. It also helped a fund manager trade $17 million of capital. Also, also it's created multi-millionaire students. It works because it reveals the market structure that traditional technical analysis completely, absolutely misses. Now, you've got 3 options moving forward. Option 1, go do it alone. You can take everything I shared with you in this video and implement it yourself. You have the complete framework, the numerology system, the astrology system, and how to put it all together. This will work for you, but honestly, it's going to take you about 12 to 18 months of focused effort to get it dialed in consistently. Option 2, keep doing exactly what you're doing. You can ignore everything that I've shared, but I don't think that's why you watch this entire course. Option 3, work with me directly. You can work with me directly to master this system with my coaching and support. I'll walk you through the advanced techniques, hold you accountable, make sure you follow all the rules, and help troubleshoot any issues you have so you can compress that 18 months timeline down to 30 to 90 days. So if you choose option 3 and you want to see exactly how my coaching program works, I have a detailed breakdown where I show you what's included, the timeline for results, and how we consistently profit in the market and do it together. So go ahead and click the first link in the description to get access. We'll personally walk you through how this coaching can transform your trading in the next 90 days. We'll see you there.